Hey guys, welcome back to Talking About Sports here with Rahman. So, yeah, great win against the Tigers, convincing win, 20-point hiding on the home field. It was great to see some of the tries, some of the celebrations, and, the unity of the Warriors players coming together. The last 2 weeks previous to that, with the bye week in between, the Broncos game was just, that was before the bye, and losing Chance Nickel clock stand, and it was a big loss for us, and also Metcalf with the Broncos game. Yeah, players really stepped up after the bye week against the Tigers at home to back that up, and unfortunately we've lost Rocco Berry to potential shoulder injury, as well as Dallin with a bit of a niggle injury there. Not too sure how long both players will be out for. But yeah, it's going to be interesting scenes coming up with the later rounds. We're still another 7 weeks remaining to go. It's 7 weeks to 2 months left of the regular season competition. But just going back to the Warriors-Tigers match, I mean, that last try from Leka Halasima, that beautiful setup from Tane Tuapiki, rising future star in the making for, potential number one spot at the fullback position for the Warriors, or potentially another side later in his career. But the young guns are definitely showing a lot of grit and grind, and it was just proven against the Tigers that they really monstered up front. And also the addition of Tanner Boyd, that was definitely one of the most exciting games I had seen with, Boyd in the starting lineup. He made Chanel Harris-Tavita look good. His kicking game was phenomenal. He just knew where the players would be. And setting up a few tries on the back of his kicks, as well as his passes and offloads. So that was fantastic. I also felt that Aaron Clark had been phenomenal in the forwards. Murata Niokore had a really good breakaway, broke the line a few times as well and set a few players up. I was a little nervous at the start of the game, when the Tigers scored over in the right corner early on in the match in the first half, and I thought that this would be, a tale of who scores the last try, etc. But now the Warriors managed to bounce back in the second half and pile the points on. And it's coming now at the later ends of the season. The boys need to start winning wins convincingly, even though they have 5 or 6 players out. 2 or 3 of them are going to be back before the September finals. And it was really interesting because I've been also looking at the stats for the Warriors and also other teams all around the season. And the Panthers, were last place in round 8. Then they also dipped back to last place in around 12, and they've started their climb in the last 5 to 7 weeks. They are now sitting behind 5 points behind the Warriors. Scary sights, scary scenes. Also, the top 8, definitely nothing is guaranteed, but 30 to 32 points minimum gets you the 8th spot. So if the Warriors can secure another, 4 to 5 wins out of their last 7 to 8 games, they could have just done enough to get that top 4 spot. But yeah, fantastic scenes last night. It was a great win. Watching that at work, finally actually got a decent stream for once. Don't try and watch a Warriors game at work. If you're wanting to watch it and you have to watch it off your phone, it's not exciting. That's a bit of a shame that work can't, stream the games on their sites and stuff. But anyways, back to the story. I felt really unfortunate for Rocco Berry. He managed to have, a game or 2 here and there, and then he's off for, 6 or 7 weeks or maybe less than that. But, it looks like it's going to be a dislocated shoulder of some sort there, or I'm not too sure how long he's going to be on the sidelines for. But, he had a beautiful try assist as well as a try there as well. Tanner Boyd, I mentioned him, had a fantastic game. Chanel Harris-Tavita looked really good defensively as well as on attack options. I really felt that Tanner Boyd actually steered the ship for the Warriors that game. I felt that the captaincy was put on his shoulders, even though he wasn't the captain. I just felt that he took control of the game, and it showed with the young guns as well as his experience with, his NRL debut with the Warriors, but previously having, semi matches under his belt at the Gold Coast Titans. So, yeah, I sit here, a proud man. It's Monday afternoon, and it's great that the Warriors have just, finished off a great week. And, in other news, the Panthers, are back on the rise, beating the Eels. I don't know what's happening there at Parramatta with Jason Miles, Dylan Brown, Fiasco going to the Knights next season. Why would you swap a player basically 3 quarters into the season from a starting position to a position that he can play but is not preferred, just to try and beat the Panthers at home? I mean, come on. And the Panthers' home stadium at the moment is CommBank, so that was a neutral home game, which did favour the Panthers a bit more, due to the fact that they are basically forced to play at CommBank, their home games. So, yeah. In other news, you also had the Broncos Titans. Felt really unfortunate for the Titans. They had so many missed opportunities to convert over the line, to get the game to golden point. And, the look on Des Hasler's face just said it all, basically. The Titans are in rambles, they're shambles, they're crap, they're shit, they're terrible club. I don't know why you'd go there for your career. Maybe start fresh, young, and then move away from there. But, yeah, they're not a side that you want to be basically playing or paying big bucks for. So, yeah, and it's an interesting thing with the Titans. They've had good coaches, bad coaches, etc., but they're still, in the bottom 8. They had that one season, I think last year or the year before, where they could have made a finals push for the top 8, but they struggled at the dire end. So, yeah, so the Broncos, they didn't look convincing, even though they had won 5 on the trot. That was not a convincing win away from home for the Broncos. So, you Broncos fans, I wouldn't get too excited. Even though you got a bye coming into round 20, I can definitely say that was definitely the most boring game of the week that I had watched. And, they always say, save the best to last, but that was a shit game to watch at 8:15 on a Sunday. Like, I would have rather had, the big guns or, a decent match. Possibly the Warriors-Tigers match would have been maybe good, but an 8 o'clock game on a Sunday for Kiwi fans, probably not so much. In other news, I picked the Dolphins over the Sharks. That was a flop. I mean, the Sharks turned up at home. All those Origin players that had played in Game 3 for State of Origin. I don't know why I picked the Dolphins for that. I think I just picked it based on the Origin series wins for Maroons, and I thought that they could back it up, but Sharks rested, didn't get any of the Origin players selected, so I'm quite surprised by that. Cam McInnes didn't get selected for Origin this season. I was quite surprised by that. So the Sharks, managed to pull a full-strength team going into that Dolphins clash. And then you had the Storm Knights. I mean, the Knights are just shocking, honestly. The Storm had a fantastic match leading up to that. They played really well. And, Munster, obviously, with the news of him, with his dad passing away early in the week, this time last week, Sunday. He basically capitalised on that adversity and helped Maroons to secure that series win. The Cowboys-Bulldogs game, game of the round, definitely. Didn't really show it all. I mean, the Bulldogs turned up and won overall, but the Cowboys have been, up and down. And it's a question of who's the first coach to go this season, because it's looking like, could be Bennett for the South. I don't think they'll get rid of him. In all honesty, the games have been really interesting this week. And 5 out of 7 picks. I picked the Eels and the Dolphins, and they did me dirty, but would have been nice to have got at least one of those results right. So that's me anyways today. Thanks guys, and keep tuning in to Talking About Sports here with Man. I have another update later at the end of round 20. Peace guys, bye.